the world has changed a lot since I was a teenager almost 40 years ago. But unfortunately, our paradigm for retirement has not. Think about 40 years ago. There were really 3 legs to our retirement stool for our parents. This is what retirement looked like for a lot of people when we were teenagers, for a lot of people in their late 50s and 60s. And there were 3 legs to this stool. There was Social Security. There was the money that our parents, the friends of our parents had saved up on their own. And the 3rd leg of that stool was a pension. Back then, a lot of companies provided pensions. Not all companies, but a lot of companies provided pensions. And as we all know, that's largely a thing of the past, unless you're a government employee. So our retirement strategy, our retirement resources has changed dramatically, but our strategy has not. And that's why in today's video, I want to share with you kind of a new paradigm shift of how to think about your retirement. Go for a walk with me next to the Puget Sound here, and let's talk about it. Okay, so, how should our strategy change? Basically, right now, our strategy is we sacrifice, we sacrifice, we sacrifice. We save as much money as we can, and then we hope when we turn 65, 67, whatever the age is, that then those will be our golden years and we'll be able to enjoy our retirement. But, I don't think we can do that anymore because, we're doing this on our own in a lot of respects now. We still have, many of us still have Social Security, but again, those pensions are gone. So what do? I think it's really critical that we enjoy the journey along the way, as opposed to waiting up until the end. I think it's important that we optimize on life throughout our life, as opposed to sacrifice, 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 and then have enjoyment. I think that is a recipe for disappointment, and I don't want to see that happen to you. If you're already in your 50s, if you're already in your early 60s, you know what? We can enjoy the time that we have now before we retire, and also enjoy our retirement. I don't believe that it has to be one or the other. And I think one of the things that has gotten Americans into trouble is just the increase in consumerism, in buying stuff, as opposed to buying experiences and spending time with loved ones. Now, this is not me being prescriptive. I'm not saying you should do this, but I do think it's worth thinking about is how much joy is all that stuff bringing us? And is it worth the sacrifice that we're currently paying for it? Or would we be better off enjoying the journey, having some adventures, doing things with friends and family along the way? And again, optimizing on life. Maybe we turn down that promotion at work that requires us to travel a lot. Or we turn down a promotion that requires us to work the night shift. So that we, at my age, working the night shift would be hard. I know I have viewers that are working the night shift, and God bless, it's great that you can do it. I think it becomes harder to do. I have worked the night shift when I was younger, and it was hard to do when I was in my 20s, and it would be even harder for me to do this now. We're going to go underneath this pier. It's going to get a little dark for a second, but bear with me here. Okay, so high level, I got to bow under this pipe. High level, if you're in your 20s, I think your 20s are really about balance. You want to save some money, but don't focus too much on it. Don't let that be your sole criteria. Enjoy your life. You're only 20 once, and I think the goal is to do both. To save some money, but also to make sure you look back and you say, you know what, I really enjoyed my 20s. I'm fortunate I can say I enjoyed my 20s, probably a little more than I should have. And you know what, I was also able to save some money. And then your 30s and 40s, for many of us, that's when we're building our family. We're having our families, we're raising our families, and that's kind of crunch time. We've got to save for our mortgage. Many of us are going to have a home mortgage. U.S. is hard, right? College is expensive. So if you want to be able to help your kids out, with college. We're saving for college funding. We're also saving for our retirement, and that's our 30s and 40s. And that can set the tone for the rest of our life up till retirement if we're not careful. But I want to encourage you that, you know, once you get through your 30s and 40s, and many of my viewers are in their 50s and early 60s, let's enjoy the journey. Let's have some fun. And frankly, by the time you get through your 30s and 40s and have had all, you know, the responsibilities of being the best provider, being the best parent that you can be, being the best caregiver that you can be, you oftentimes lose some of your passions in life. So your 50s, I think, you know, invest some time in rekindling your passions. What are the things you used to enjoy doing? What are some things that you've always said that you want to do? And there's an author by the name of Bill Perkins that wrote a book that, frankly, after 20 years as a financial advisor, I wanted to write. And I'm glad Bill did a better job at it than I ever could. But one of my main takeaways helping people and guiding and coaching people into retirement is just this. I think we're on the wrong track with sacrifice, 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 and then enjoy. And Bill talks about that in his book, Die with Zero. And it's not just that you and I should enjoy our money along the journey, but it's also, you know, if we have causes that we care about, if we have adult children that we want to help out, you know, waiting until we're 80 or 90 and then passing away, you know, in my kids' cases, you know, they're going to be in their 50s when that happens for me, when I'm in my 80s and 90s. And by that time, any money my wife and I leave behind for our kids, the utility, the marginal additional joy that they're going to be able to get from that money, the marginal benefit to their life is going to be pretty low. Where right now my kids are in their early 20s. So maybe instead of thinking about leaving money behind to my kids after I pass, maybe I help them out along the way. Now, you want to be careful. I do talk about, you know, not over supporting your adult children. So there is a balancing line here, right? They have mortgages for your kids to just like you and I, most of us did. They have mortgages for your first home. They have car loans for your first car. They have student loans to go back and get your graduate degree. But you know what they don't have? They don't have retirement loans. But if you're comfortable that you're going to have enough, rather than waiting until the end to providing that money and providing some of that support, why not help out along the way and get the satisfaction and the joy that comes from seeing your kids be able to buy that house that they wanted to be able to buy, being able to see your grandkids go to college, things like that. So the old retirement myth, what I really want you to take away from this video is the sacrifice, 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 and then at the end, sorry for this noise, and then at the end, then enjoy. I think a lot of people get there and they're massively disappointed, and I don't want that to happen to you. And another kind of part 2 to this video is this video up here that talks about 8 things to think about stop doing or doing less of as you approach your 60s in order to enjoy the journey more. So I'll see you in this video. Thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.